Coming up on Mountain News this morning, this year's General Assembly is winding down in Frankfort. We will have a recap of what is going on right now. And one of horse racing's biggest events will return to Central Kentucky for the first time since 2015.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you. It's 5:33 on this Friday. We finally made it to Friday. Let's take it over to Brandon this morning. And Brandon, I am struggling just a hair this morning. I don't know what it is.
It's the end of the week where everybody's tired.
It has been a week.
Yep.
I came in this morning earlier than I normally would, and I was all, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, but I hit this anchor desk. I don't know what I'm doing.
Listen, if you don't know these two produced the morning news today. So
you did the majority of it.
Any problems you have, take it up with one of us.
Take it up with him.
That's right. Anyway, let's get into your weather forecast as you head out the door this morning. We're going to be seeing some rain across parts of the area. We're seeing it back out to the west there. Some of that probably reaching the ground as some sprinkles, especially back out toward Pulaski, Rockcastle, and Jackson counties. But the big one we're tracking is basically moving into Elliott County out of Morgan County now, and that's going to be continuing to cause some issues. So just be aware of that if you're up there, basically along 32, west of Isonville over that way, and then east of Wrigley there. That's in Morgan County, so just be aware of that. Temperatures in the 30s and 40s this morning. Not a whole lot of 40s left over. We're all supposed to get into the 30s at some point here a little bit later this morning. 42 Prestonsburg and Pikeville, our warmer spots outside of Ashland, which is at 44. Jonesville, our cold spot, at 32. That is a few degrees warmer, or a few degrees colder, not warmer, than yesterday morning. 10 degrees colder in Harlan, 15 degrees cold right now in Middlesboro, 11 degrees colder in London. 12-hour planner for today, sunrise 7:08, sunset 8:02. You may see one or both of those if you're lucky. Probably not, though, because it's going to be mainly cloudy with temperatures only getting to right around 50 this afternoon. Maybe some rumbles of thunder as we head deeper into the day as well. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you. We are still following developments from the ongoing legislative session, which is approaching its final days in Frankfort. Chelsea Jones has the latest from both sides as they prepare for the home stretch, debating some key bills.
This afternoon, Governor Andy Beshear either approved or disapproved high-profile bills. He vetoed House Bill 9, the controversial charter school funding bill, saying the state should invest more money in public schools.
And our taxpayer dollars should not be redirected to for-profit entities that run charter schools.
He said he's still reviewing House Bill 3, which bans abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy. He noted he had concerns about incest and rape victims.
They deserve options.
Yesterday, Beshear vetoed Senate Bills 1 and 83. Some say Senate Bill 1 is an anti-critical race theory bill since it dictates what can be taught in history classes. Senate Bill 83 prohibits transgender female athletes from participating in female sports in 6th grade through college. Senate President Robert Stivers told reporters that lawmakers plan to override Beshear's vetoes of Senate Bills 1 and 83. He says lawmakers should play a role in determining what students learn at school. He believes transgender female athletes have an unfair physical advantage over biological females. Now, bills dealing with sports betting and medical marijuana have stalled in the state legislature, causing some to doubt whether those bills will get passed this general session. Stivers believes sports betting will provide little revenue and entertainment to Kentucky. He says the medical marijuana bill could pass, but noted several lawmakers are looking for more research.
And then that would give us the impetus to come back maybe within a year and say this is what marijuana could be used for or not be used for.
Beshear says he's still reviewing the budget bill and looking for ways to assist families needing medical marijuana if that bill doesn't pass the state legislature. In Frankfort, Chelsea Jones, WKYT.
Well, Governor Andy Beshear signed House Bill 564 into law on Thursday. It expands in-person voting days, extends early voting hours, and protects election officials. Beshear said he supports the bill, but thinks it falls short in ensuring voting access for every Kentuckian. Meanwhile, Governor Andy Beshear recently vetoed House Bill 9, the controversial charter school funding bill, and Senate Bills 1 and 83. Well, the governor says he's still reviewing House Bill 3, which bans abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy. He noted he had concerns about incest and rape victims. Senate President Robert Stivers told reporters that lawmakers plan to override Beshear's vetoes of Senate Bills 1 and 3, but will reserve judgment on any new vetoes. Also in Frankfort, arguments continued Thursday in a Franklin County courtroom over new legislative and congressional district maps. The General Assembly approved the new districts for the state and U.S. House seats earlier this year. The Democratic Party sued, saying Republicans were choosing their voters. Well, there is no set date on when Judge Thomas Wingate will issue a decision on the redistricting trial. And the federal freeze on student loan payments and interest has been extended to August 31st. Locally, this has affected many graduates from local universities and colleges, including the University of Pikeville. Officials say especially in 2020, recent graduates struggled to find jobs. Dr. Amanda Sloan says thanks to the initial freeze and subsequent extensions like this last one, many alums had the chance to succeed.
It affects us in a way that, we're able to see our students be able to thrive more because they have more flexibility, especially in the job market today when they're recovering from COVID.
Well, Dr. Sloan added that bit of extra time before repayment will really make a difference for upcoming 2022 graduates as well. Well, switching gears, Dr. Stephen Stack updated the Commonwealth on the state of COVID on Thursday. The news is good. Almost the entire state of Kentucky is in the green on the new map that tracks hospital capacity and COVID transmission. During the news conference, Dr. Stack said something many people have been wanting to hear for 2 years.
It is okay, though, and this is important. There's another side to this. It's okay for folks to be out in public now in green counties, of which we had 116 on that screen a minute ago. It is okay to be in places with other people without masks.
Well, he went on to say you should be respectful to those who do mask up. They may be immunocompromised or maybe protecting a family member. COVID-19 boosters are a hot topic right now for some. Unfortunately, if you are looking for answers about if those shots are right for you, well, you're not the only one. Brett Conway has more on the booster battle.
This virus, unfortunately, is going to be woven into the fabric of our everyday lives.
We might be done with coronavirus, but it's not done with us.
I would not be surprised if we see an uptick in cases. Whether that uptick becomes a surge where there are a lot more cases is difficult to predict. But the one thing that I hope and I believe there's reason that this will not happen is that we won't get a very large increase proportionately in hospitalizations because of the background immunity.
Immunity from people who've gotten COVID-19 and from vaccines and boosters. But even if a future with coronavirus is inevitable, exactly what that'll look like isn't clear between the threat of new variants and questions about boosters. Right now, another booster is being recommended for the immunocompromised over 12 years old and people over the age of 50.
The good news is it allows people who most need a booster shot, a second booster, to get one. The bad news is it's confusing for people. Do I need a booster? When should I get it?
Answers people hoped would come from the FDA, but the Vaccine Advisory Committee came away with no solid answers after meeting on Wednesday, partly because there are still questions about future vaccines. Both Pfizer and Moderna are working on variant-specific vaccines, and some researchers are hoping for a more universal vaccine. Until there's specific guidance,
we need people to have a trusted guide, like a primary care doctor, to tell them exactly what they need.
For Health Minute, I'm Britt Conway.
In other news, the Breeders' Cup World Championships will return to Lexington for the first time since 2015. The championship will take place at Keeneland with races on November 4th and 5th. This year will mark the third time the World Championships have been held in Lexington. Keeneland was supposed to host the 2022 races, which were canceled due to the COVID pandemic. City officials say they are already preparing to welcome people into town.
We want our roads to be good. We have environmental services inside government. We'll have lots of flowers, the fall flowers, Breeders' Cup colors. We'll have the banners up and down the streets. Those are all the kinds of things that we do. And we want to put our best foot forward.
Well, tickets for the 2022 World Championships at Keeneland will go on sale to the public on Monday, May 9th at noon. Well, we are now less than 1 month until the Kentucky Derby in Louisville. The sign at Churchill Downs has changed to reflect the 148th race. The big race at the track will return back to normal this year with full capacity, much different from COVID-19 restrictions at the last two Derby races. Magoffin County's Special Olympics team has been hard at work at the high school to sharpen up ahead of this spring games, with 5 students going to the mark for Magoffin County during this year's event and a community full of people cheering them on every step of the way. Organizers say they are ready for the first major event since the beginning of the pandemic. Schools from across the region plan to meet up in Johnson County soon to spread inclusion and show that athletics sometimes look a little different.
People say it's a disability and we say it's a different ability. Sometimes it takes them a little longer to run the 50 meters than someone else, or maybe they can't throw the ball as far. But the good thing with Special Olympics is that they're always grouped with people of their same ability.
Well, athletes plan to dominate the games on April 23rd, giving them a couple more weeks to practice before the event. Well, coming up, a popular Easter candy is being showcased at an art exhibit in Wisconsin. We take you there in just a bit.
And if you thought winter and the colder temperatures were a thing of the past, I'm afraid you're going to get a rude awakening this weekend. I'll have the chilly details in about 3 minutes.